My name's Josh Stephani. I'm the director of the Adirondack Food System Network, which is a coalition of agencies across the 12 counties of the North Country here in New York State. Pitney Meadows is one of our great partners. So when I think about quality food, I think about having our communities with that equitable and diverse access to the foods that matter to them, from our amazing farms right onto their tables, whether it be in their schools or their homes or hospitals. I think quality food is something, as a state, we need to focus a lot more on what that actually means and make sure the nutrient dense on our farms translates over to our communities. I think when we think about food and community building, we often separate those two pieces. And for us at AFSN, food is really what kind of binds us across all of our organizations and our agencies, everything from our farmers to our food pantries to our schools. And so when we think about community building, food is that cornerstone, that foundational aspect. It's what gets us talking. I think about what we do throughout the year with educational opportunities for our partners, thinking about the Food Justice Summit, where people are excited to build on the momentum to talk about unique projects. So thinking about AFSN from a system perspective, we're thinking about our food translating from everything from the seed into the soil all the way to the compost pile. And so that is what truly binds us as an organization, as a coalition of partners, and what we're really hoping to do for the future of food in the state. I think one of the biggest challenges is shared infrastructure and shared collaborative structures for distribution and transportation of products. What we're seeing in a lot of our rural communities are communities that are struggling to access food from the grocery store. There's a lot of disappearing grocery stores across our region. And so if we can think about how we can utilize that amazing farm fresh product that is growing in our counties, that is growing in rural areas, that should allow New York State to feed New York State, we need to reinvest in some of that shared challenges around infrastructure and distribution and working with partners between farms and food hubs and schools, and think about what are the different ways we can collectively come together, collaboratively share those challenges, and build structures that are built around our respective communities. And I think that's an easy challenge that if we're all on the same page and we're all able to share our diverse experiences and our diverse needs, that we can solve. I think about how some of the barriers we put in place, whether it's from institutional procurement to funding barriers to the differentiation between school meals for lunch and breakfast, how we can reduce some of those barriers that make local food access more equitable, more sustainable, more resilient. And that all requires some small, doable changes on our state landscape of policy, but also highlighting the commitment of our communities to really stand behind those values. When I think about what drives us all to be passionate about food systems, I think it really comes down to our role within the food system, and everybody has a role to play. So it's not just about the policymakers, the people who have the power in our state, but it really comes down to we're all eaters, we're all consumers, and we all have a decision to make when it comes to our food. One lesson I think is really important to think about with our work at AFSN is that we are not doing this alone. No matter where we go throughout the state, throughout New England, throughout the United States, we're advocating for a better food system. And that lesson really comes down to finding the people who are passionate about it. And I think everybody has that opportunity to be passionate about the food they're eating, because that, at the end of the day, is the most basic human need, the most basic human right, is to make sure that we have access to just and equitably grown farm fresh product in New York State and beyond.